Charles, welcome to the second round of the International Porsche Sit. We are joined by many peoples from many nations, most notably the United States of America, I believe that's known as. I am very attractive, and with me, as always, is the man whose musical career has spanned decades, continents, and time itself, Ronnie James Mio.
Ah, we're going back to the old school Ronnie James Mio. Excellent.
Why not?
I like it.
It's Monday, I felt a little rock and roll.
We're here at Watkins Glen, which is actually one of my favorite racetracks. This is one of the few racetracks that I have actually gotten to race at in real life, which is very, very cool. And not in a Porsche, mind. And we're going to watch some Porsche GT3 Cup cars take on this circuit. And I'm kind of intrigued because there's a couple of people that look very out of place right now, such as Max Simmons down in 11th place. You don't usually see him that low in the grid. And that could lead to some interesting things. Is he sandbagging, or is he a little bit off the pace today? We'll find out.
The Sandman.
Josiah Jerome moving up into 6th place there with his lap. And apparently Josiah was robbed in the last race by a power failure. So,
well, he does live in Texas. They don't have fucking power there.
Interesting news. So, one of my alma maters, one of the schools I've attended for accounting reasons, Ryerson, has changed their name because apparently Ryerson is historically problematic. I don't know why. I never really read up on it.
Never heard of anything.
But they have changed their name to Toronto Metropolitan University, which is dumb because there's already a University of Toronto. So now we have the University of Toronto and University of Metropolitan Toronto.
Should have changed it to Toronto
but
FC.
They have named their athletics team Bold, and people are joking on Twitter. It's TMU Bold. It's like, oh great, it sounds like a coffee flavor. Specialty roast.
Somebody's hackneyed font that they used in junior high.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, we have a grid, or at least we're getting a grid here. A couple people saw it on track. Henrik Andreasen to start from pole for Tobias Thurolf and Martin Edmonds. Not shocking to see Henrik up front. He's a fast guy. He's definitely shown his pace before, but to see him on pole in a field that does contain Tobias Thurolf, does contain Max Simmons, does contain Josiah Jerome is pretty cool. We apparently have more cars than we were led to believe because Ken Scott was not listed on the grid, and he is here today, so we have at least 17 cars. Andrew D will start from P5. I wonder if this is the boot version of Watkins Glen or the non-boot version of Watkins Glen.
Well, I believe they have to wear footwear that is mandatory.
No, there's literally a part of the Watkins Glen track that is called the boot. And there are two different layouts to Watkins Glen, one that has the boot and one that does not have the boot.
The Italian version.
So it does include the inner loop. That's the part of the track right there that Andrew D just went through. So let's see if we can keep the camera on him long enough to get to the section that is the boot. See if he has to take the boot. So this part of the track is called Shoot. That's turn 6 that he's just going through now.
They train the international known MMA gym Boot Box.
Yeah, I think this is the toe part of the boot here. Turn 7. Then turn 8 is called the heel. So I think we do have the boot in play.
We shall have the bootay.
There's the heel. And then up towards turn 9 and 10, which to my knowledge don't have names. There's turn 9. Turn 9's acceptably hard. Turn 10 and then turn 11. It's just an 11 turn track. It's a relatively short lap, but apparently taking about 1:50 for these cars. We'll have a mandatory pit stop, I do believe. And I believe this is a 60-minute race. I could be mistaken on any of these facts, though. We will find out.
60-minute race with a nice 5.5-hour warm-up.
Well, the warm-up is coming to an end here. We got 26 seconds left.
Nope.
Max Simmons
that's just first warm-up.
Max Simmons sporting the FedEx livery once again. I actually rather like that livery, It's kind of eye-catching.
After this, we will have second warm-up and then 11sies.
The game actually will not allow you to have multiple warm-up sections, so is that the case?
Well, then just schedule cooldowns between the warm-ups.
Sebastian Bellew, who was at round 1 at Oschersleben, but did not actually complete a single lap. He started the race in the pits and never left the pits. Roby Bartz. All right, grid is forming up.
Barthez.
Grid is forming up, Byron. Do you have any predictions here for Watkins Glen?
I predict that Josiah Jerome will be thrown in jail halfway through the race because Texas.
Oh, that's a little harsh.
8. I calls him like a season. Let this be clear, through no fault of Josiah's own at all. Just Texas.
Very much an anti-Texas thing.
I'm just looking at reality here.
20 seconds. Well, a little over 20 seconds. Now 20 seconds. 19, 18, 17 to go.
I like the exuberant man on the microphone in the background.
Indeed, the Watkins Glen background noise is it's a 90-minute race. Okay, we got 90 here. Here we go. Henrik Andreasen to lead us away from pole. And we have red lights, red lights, red lights, green light. And we are gone. So Martin Edmonds, Magic Cash, Chuck, Josiah Jerome, Andrew D. I think it's Javi Vega. Rene Ermer, Anthony Willis, D-Bomb in our top 10. Roby Bart's up in there. We'll see if we get less spins today, because there were a lot of spins at Oschersleben. Oh my lord.
Oschersleben?
Hopefully these guys come out a little bit better here. Martin Edmonds in 3rd place there in the Porsche factory colors. Josiah Jerome is up into 4th. So he's had an excellent start. Side-by-side action between Tobias Thierolf and race leader Henrik Andreasen, but now Thierolf to the lead through the inner loop and to the outer loop. So it is Thierolf, Andreasen, Edmonds, your top 3. 4th place belongs to Vega. Then it's Jerome, Kaschuk, Ermer, Willis, Roby Bartz, and Max Simmons up into the top 10. Ken Scott has drifted way back, so I wonder if he has had a spin in the background somewhere. Andrew D has had a rough first lap. He started 5th and he's down to 12th. So, probably bad start for him. Vic Vega up a spot there to 15th ahead of Steve Bellew. Beaulieu?
Is that Caillou guy?
No. Let's not get started on Caillou.
I don't know anything about Caillou except it looks like he's got cancer and parents hate the cartoon.
I have like vague memories of watching. Dive bomb into the wall. Early days yet, though. 90 minutes is a long time, gentlemen. Nothing is settled. Andreas on board with Henrik Andreasen with the Fanatec livery. I do like the Fanatec livery, and I have a Fanatec wheel, or not wheel, pedals. I approve.
You Fanatics and your Fanatec boyism.
They just make really good. They make really good sim equipment, and for the price, you really can't beat it.
Sure, I can. I got a stick.
Like there's better equipment out there, but you have to pay like a proper premium. Martin Edmonds getting a slowdown penalty for a pretty egregious track cut, honestly, in the background there through the inner loop. I don't know if it really gained him much in the way of time, because I think he actually probably lost control of the car a little bit. Josiah Jerome battling with, again, I believe his name is Javier Vega. I would like to get it on board with him at some point to confirm or deny.
Savio Vega.
Well, it's a J, so it's not Savio.
It's just Savio.
Savio Vega. I was randomly a really big fan of him as a wrestler as a kid.
It was good times.
I don't really know why. I think it's because he was tagging with 123 Kid at the time. And I mean, 123 Kid was like every kid's favorite wrestler.
Yeah. Savio Vega's good wrestler. That's all there is to it.
Excellent.
They had a collection of really good wrestlers that Vince McMahon held down because they were ethnic, and that's all there was to it.
I think Savio is one of the few ethnic wrestlers back in the day who actually, got to have a reasonably good role up until they decided to give him like the street gang thing.
Los Boricuas.
Los Boricuas and the DOA and the Nation of Domination. That was a weird feud.
That was an odd time.
It's a weird time to be wrestling then.
Oh, you like this wrestling stuff? Yeah. Could I hang out and watch? Sure. Why is it like gang warfare?
Why is it highly racially based gang warfare?
Why does this look like a prison show?
Henrik Andreasen retaking lead there into the inner loop this time. And Josiah Jerome says, I want 4th place, and I'm not asking anymore. Rather aggressive move. And can't really blame him, because, I mean, honestly, the top 2, and to a lesser extent, Martin Edmonds, were pulling away. So if if Jerome wants to be, within a shot of the podium, he kind of needed to take that control of that moment there. As Ken Scott limps around to the pit lane with significant damage to his Logitech Porsche. I was right. It is Javier Vega.
Javier Mendez?
I'm sorry, Javier Vega. I'm sure you're a nice guy and all, but there is only room for one Javi in our hearts.
And that is Javier Mendez.
Javier Prestores.
Oh, yeah, he's good. I like that.
Romy Bartz. Roman Barthez on the tail of Anthony Willis. Willis got a new livery, I think. I kind of like the orange and black. I don't think he had that last time. Roman Barthez. Oh, pardon. Gets by Rene Ermer there. Ermer drifting backwards. Getting a slowdown penalty for continuing to abuse track limits. That might be the source of the problem. It looks like it's going to be two in as many corners for Roman Barthez as he overtakes Anthony Willis for 7th place. Max Simmons also going through against Rene Ermer, who is once again picking up slowdown penalties for track limit abuse. I don't know if there's a limit to how many track limit penalties you can pick up in this race. Race Room does allow you to set like a 50 or 100 instant count, whatever. And it will just DQ the car automatically. It's a way of making public servers a little safer, but with we may not have that due to the nature that we know all of these guys. We commented on them before, with the exception of Ken Scott. I don't recall him at any point. Willis taking 7th place. Fire to orphans. Well, I would hope not, because I would hope we wouldn't let someone of such disrepute onto our server.
Oh, you say that, but I mean, at least he's creative.
Josiah Jerome on the tail of Martin Edmonds, looking for that 3rd place in the ST Suspensions car. And further back, Magic Kazchuk putting pressure on Javier Vega for 5th place. I see we have 2 ST suspension cars, Byron. Which one do you like better? Josiah's, which is the predominantly black with yellow highlights, or do you like the one in the background there from Magic Kazchuk, the yellow predominantly with the black highlights? Which color combo do you prefer?
Josiah's or
Magic Kazchuk's.
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea what either car looks like.
Well, you can see Josiah's on the screen there. The black with the yellow, and it's the yellow and black one in the background there. That is Magic Kazchuk. Same sponsor, but kind of just a color swap.
Well, I'm gonna go with the one that's more black.
Okay, so Josiah Jerome.
Because it looks more like your favorite team, the Steelers, than your favorite team, the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
I do actually agree with your sentiment. Well, on both regards, it does remind me more of a Tie-Cat color palette, and it does. It looks a little better. It looks a little bit better. The only problem with a predominantly black livery in racing is that there's often too many of them on track.
Correct.
They get a little bit possible. Whereas the yellow kind of pops at any grid. There's never a surplus of yellow cars. They're both in pursuit of 3rd and 5th place, respectively. Actually, good battle for 7th going on in the background there. Willis versus Roman Barthez. On board with Magic Cash Check. Still hanging on there. Actually, we got pretty good battles throughout the pack. It does look like Ken Scott maybe is pulled the plug and will race another day, I suppose, as he's dropped 2 laps down. Dive Bomb is still going after his collision with the wall as well. He's the only car really kind of on his own. Everybody else is within 2 seconds of either the car in front or the car behind. And in some cases, both. Javier Vega with a slowdown penalty for track limit abuse. This part of the track here that leads up to the inner loop, very, very fun. It's it doesn't look like much when you're watching just from outside the car, but the fact that it's pretty much full throttle the whole way makes it very exciting, very hard to control, very challenging. And, oh, Lord, that is, gentlemen, that is not how you're supposed to take the inner loop.
I disagree.
Magic Cash Chuck is now under pressure from the black and orange car of Anthony Willis. Who loses control. Around turn 6. Back off the track, and looks like he's going to rejoin without too much of an issue. Rene Ermer fighting off Andrew D there. I'm not sure who was ahead previously, so that might have been an overtake by Ermer. Might not have been James Butler to 11th place. We have not said much about James Butler up until now, but here he is. Back to Josiah Jerome, who's turning the pressure up against Martin Edmonds.
Give him the business.
Martin Edmonds, who has become a Porsche loyalist, and it disgusts me. Dive Bomb recovering from a spin.
You're just jealous he's not
and
down to
it looks like we've lost Anthony Willis from the race. It's unfortunate. Does look like Ken Scott might be moving again. He's only down 2 laps. He's been down 2 laps for a while. Makes me think that he is actually back on track, and that's good to see. It's a long race. Opportunities to score points will be there, and he's already picked up a spot from Anthony Willis retiring. And we lose Roman Barthez. They're falling like flies, Byron.
That's good. Fly suck.
That's not good. We're down to 15 cars.
Oh, I see what you're saying. But is this not hit to pass or demo derby?
Well, in Porsches, it does tend to be hit to pass really a lot because Porsches tend to be very rear end sensitive. You can nudge them around pretty easily. But not efficient. We here at ESR do not in any way endorse push to or hit to pass, but Byron does.
Indeed, especially if you are quote rear end sensitive.
On board with Josiah Jerome again as they round the final corner for lap. Not sure if this means we're entering lap 8 or that was the completion of lap 8. I forget what the race room logic on the matter There we go. James Butler up into the top 10 and putting the pressure on Rene Ermer as Magic Kaszczuk has a spin. He's going to lose a bunch of spots as the train comes through. Probably slot in ahead of teammate Andrew D. Oh, Lord! Stewards might want to take a look at that contact between James Butler and Magic Kaszczuk. Kaszczuk ending up off the track and into the wall.
Get him, cabbage truck.
Well, it was get him Butler on that, in that case. Tobias Thierolf trailing race leader Henrik Andreasen. They're coming up to lap some traffic here. That is, I believe, Ken Scott up ahead.
Mr. Andreasen.
Indeed. Actually, speaking of
this race out with his garbage.
Speaking of Mr. Anderson, my sister had named her dog Mr. Anderson way back in the day after the Nature's character, and Mr. Anderson now has a playmate because she has joined the ever expanding ranks of failed foster parents of dogs because she got a foster dog and she fell in love with it and now has adopted the dog.
Yeah.
She has its name is Scotch Bonnet and it is some kind of pit bull mix. So she's got 2 mutts now, and they'll be hopefully buddies and tag team partners against the coyotes that live around her.
Suplex them all.
James Butler looking for an overtake of Rene Ermer as they head towards the inner loop, which is the predominant overtaking spot on the track. And he gets it done. These guys are being real aggressive with those curves. No wonder there's been so many track cut penalties. But Ermer doesn't seem to have any fight in him today. Don't know if he's just taking a super long view of things and preserving the tires, maybe. Is it possible somebody off the track there? I think that's Ken Scott. He's already down a lap. He's recovering from a little bit of an off. Butler gets through there as well as Ermer and Andrew D. Because there is one thing I know from years at this point of racing against James Butler. The goal for James Butler is never conserve the tires. He's a very aggressive driver. There's pros and there's cons to that, so it could be just that Ermer is worried about some tire life issues. I don't know what the tire wear on these cars are like. I don't have a lot of experience with them. So he may be just taking it kind of easy right now and handling his thing. But talk about the stealth performance here, Byron. Max Simmons up to 6th place.
Well, I mean, he'd probably be a lot higher if he didn't start at 93rd out of possible 17 cars.
Indeed. But he's been picking him off kind of slowly. We really haven't seen his car on screen, like, at all. Haven't seen his handiwork, but he's been getting it done. Tobias Thierolf looking for an overtake towards the inner loop. And gets it done. That's a massive slipstream that you can get down that straightaway. And somewhere along the line, Josiah Jerome has bagged Martin Edmonds for 3rd place. The young man taking the old man. It's a young man's game, Mark.
This is a true statement. I wish I could find that Rooster Teeth video. It's just like, I don't even remember, I don't know who was involved or what was going on or what game it was, but somebody was very drunk. And they were obviously younger, if not much younger than whoever it is that he was playing against. It was like a group game.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like 4, 5, 6 people playing. Well, one dude just kept, I don't know, every now and again he'd kill the older guy or just score points?
Oh!
I don't even know. Oh my goodness.
Sebastian Bellew, contact with Magic Cash check.
Dang. And anyway, the homeboy would just scream, "It's a young man's game!" and just keep going after him. I don't know what the context was other than it was involving video games.
I feel like that's all we really need to know.
These are possibly true statements. But I do wish I could find the video.
I'm probably gonna go play MechWarrior Online with JB at some point tonight.
Just
start screaming this young man's game at him because he's an old man. His response, of course, will be, "You realize that at 35 years old, you are also in the old man category. Less so than I am, but you are there."
That's because JB is 36.
No, JB is 44?
What an old bastard.
44, I believe. Technically, Brock would be the one that could do the young man's game and has yelled, "It's a young man's game" at us periodically. Even at times where it doesn't actually make any sense. Like, last time we were playing, he did start yelling, "It's a young man's game." This was like months ago, when he got headshot by another guy and this mech died. It was very weird. we really weren't sure where he was going with it.
Maybe he knew that his opponent was
Scott
a
back in
12-year-old.
Maybe. Whoa! Adam Komarowski, I do believe, having a wrong turn at Albuquerque. Drop through the field. Ken Scott in the pits again. So 2 pit stops for him in 20 minutes or so. Not a great sign. Hopefully he soldiers on, because I mean he's already picked up 2 spots by sticking with it when Roman Barthez and Anthony Willis did not. Although, based on Willis's DNF, I think we're probably looking at some kind of technical problem.
I'm sorry, what did you say about a sticky wicket?
Technical problem, not sticky wicket. And Irmer in 8th place, ahead of Andrew D, but behind James Butler and Max Simmons. They've caught up to Simmons, so his pace doesn't appear to be outlandish today. So our train here from 6th down to 9th. We have a tight battle still going on for the lead. Andreassen's about 1.1 seconds behind Tobias Thurl. 3rd and 4th and 5th are kind of on their own, kind of having their own deal.
Good old Toby the Theory Wolf.
And then further back, we have a battle between Vic Vega, who I don't think we've seen on screen really at all. Oh, somebody in the wall there. And Magic Kazchuk are fighting for 10th place. Komorowski, Bellew, Baum, and Scott still running. I think that was Ken Scott having a spin. So it looks like Ken Scott is having some battles and some tribulations today, but he's sticking with it, and that's how you get better at this game.
You kids do sticky wickets.
And you keep trying to put the laps in. Now, to a certain degree, I would, advise a little bit of single-player time with the track to get a handle on it, but a race is a time to pick up those necessary feelings for the car. Of the liveries present today, I think I would probably race the one there from Rene Irmer, the light green, white, and black. But I feel like there are probably better in the game. And I'm pulling up the store page to find out.
Oh, I don't know if you caught the discussion of name pronunciation in the race room chat.
Oh, yeah, it was about Alex's name.
Yeah. I thought that was funny. And then Tyler Iguli.
Yeah, it's a ghoulie, apparently. He's
Iguli.
never said anything about his name up until now.
Yeah.
Inside move there from Rene Ermers. He tries to get the overtake done through the outer loop. A little bit of contact, but nothing too untowards. Does get past James Butler. Butler not going away, though. Trying to fight it back.
Fight him on back.
And Andrew D. also looking for a move through there. On board with Rene Ermer, looking at the back of Max Simmons. Interesting to see Simmons not having the greatest of times. Oh, there's a BWT car and no one's using it? Oh, come on, guys. Use the pink. Use the bubblegum car.
Go do it. Golf oil only.
Oh, I think this might be a different car, actually, now look at it, because I'm not seeing any of the liveries being used today. Perhaps this is a different Porsche Cup. Oh, there it is. Okay, there's the Porsche Cup. So there are 33 liveries. So no excuse for duplicates. Pit window apparently is open. It's a very wide pit window, so.
You're saying that the pit seems extra windowy? Hello.
Andrew D does a barrel roll.
Well done. Very creative.
Very much so, yes. All right, I've found the correct liveries now. The correct selection.
No, you haven't.
Iris.
You're looking at the Zondas again. Don't lie.
I actually find the Zonda very ugly, so I don't think I'd ever really look at it. Nothing really stands out. Maybe the number 15 NVIDIA car would be the one that I would pick. I'll give you a link in the details. That is the ones there. Henrik Andreasen still looking for, still keeping the leader company. And Ermer versus Simmons continues. Butler is dropped behind them by quite a bit. Andrew D, of course, we saw barrel rolling. And it's kind of miraculous he's still running. Dive bomb is your first pit stop. Under the window, it should be said. Ken Scott has been in twice. Looks like Butler might be in the pits as well.
None of these really are very good, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, nothing really wows me.
The FedEx with the purple highlights, kind of neat. And the, I don't know what sponsor that is. The blue ass end with the green front end.
Oh, that's the Falcon livery. That's classic.
There you go.
Number 21 car.
That's Alpha Legion colors, so I'd go with that.
Somebody is running that. I believe Adam Komaros.
Well done, sir. Well done. Everything else is just kind of like whatever. Perhaps Adam Komorowski is Alfarius.
Perhaps. Is Komorowskius. like the there's a short story in one of the anthology novels of the Horus Heresy times. I forget which one it is now off the top of my head.
The before times.
It might be. I'm looking at my shelf because I know it's on there somewhere, but probably can't see it. Well, if anyone stole it, it would be my dad who stole it.
And the story was about peanut butter?
Yeah. Anyways. The story was about a Space Wolf kill team that actually was supposed to kill Alfarius. They sent one to look after each Primarch, basically, in case they turned. And this one thought it was successful, because it killed the guy who was Alfarius. And he ends up on a planet, Alpha Legion tracks him down, and Alfarius comes out to meet him. He's like, "No, you're dead. I saw you die."
You saw somebody die.
You saw somebody die. We are all Alfarius.
Or did you? I enjoy the story about the Alpha Legion where they found a planet that was particularly psychically sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
So they put hallucinogens in the water supply of the planet, and they all started tripping balls, and then they started playing images and suggestive things about opening up the warp rift to demons, so the psychic people all started freaking out. And then by virtue of the fact that they were freaking out about the warp, they actually did open a warp portal, and the whole planet got wiped out by demonic possession.
I would be able to tell you the novel title, but so there are There's 3 shelves on my bookshelf that are dedicated to the Horus Heresy novels, because I have a bunch of them. And it just so happens that the one that it's on is currently blocked by a box that I have sitting there in front of the novel, so I can't look at the titles.
Blocked by a bot.
Because I can see the other 2 shelves perfectly fine, and they're the earlier novels that I can figure out where they fit in the timeline. And the shelf with the ones that are either collective works and therefore have no timeline, or are a single story, but I'm not exactly sure when the heck it's happening, are on that shelf, and it is blocked off. I cannot tell you.
All I know is that you said it was about peanut butter.
I did not. You said it was about peanut butter.
Oh, did I? My bad.
Yes. That was your idea.
I don't know if it's so much an idea as it is a loose concept. See, I don't know what we're doing here. They just crank up that announcer voice. This whole race will be good.
And the problem is the announcer voice is not covering the action at all.
It doesn't matter.
He's commenting
Neither
past
are we.
races through the Glen. We are. Well,
You are.
Henrik Andreasen on the tail of the race leader, looking to make a move. Now at this point, he should be thinking about possibly overcut, strategic ways to put him in front of Tobias Thierry. He obviously doesn't have to. We have about 8 minutes until the halfway point of the race. There's plenty of time, but at this point, I would start to formulate ideas. When do I want to come in? When do I want to go for the undercut, maybe? Or do I want to go for an overcut? Do I feel like I'm being held up by Tobias Thierolf? And when Thierolf goes in the pits, I can turn on the afterburners. But I think an undercut would be a better idea. We'll see if he reaches the same conclusion.
I mean, if he fires up the pre-burners right now, then the afterburners aren't necessary.
Vic Vega has become the 3rd car to serve his mandatory pit stop, and Ken Scott is serving it. Ooh, somebody was at the side of the road there. It was one of the NVIDIA liveries, the lighter one. I'm trying to think of who's driving that. I want to say it's Sebastian Bellew, maybe?
It is the Sebastian Villeneuve Jr.
Andreasen is all over the back. You see Josiah Jerome is still in the mix there. About 5 seconds off the lead, so still in play. Edmonds has dropped back. Vega has dropped back. Simmons and Irmer and company were not really ever in the battle for the lead, so I think it is a 3-car race for the lead, or for the win here today. 3 cars that look like they have that top-end pace right now. But we'll see. Still a lot of time left. Still 56 minutes to go. Henrik Andreasen, the pole sitter, the Fanatec liveried car, still in second place. These guys have a pit stop still to serve. So there's Josiah Jerome, Martin Edmonds, Javier Vega, Max Simmons, Rene Irmer. As Irmer, speaking of Irmer, he overtakes Max Simmons for 6th place. Looked like Simmons made a mistake there because he was moving quite slowly through the early part of the track. Somebody was off there with a spin, but we didn't stay long enough to figure out who. Well, there it is. That would be... Oh! Ken Scott hits Henrik Andreasen. That's a penalty. That's going to be a tier 2, possibly even a tier 3, I would think.
Tier 10 penalty. Punch you down and destroy everything.
Making a note of that for the steward to forward him my notes.
Snitching again.
Always snitching. It's my job.
Steady, stay snitching.
It's one of my jobs here, is to snitch it out and deliver the information to Jack that he requires to whip up a batch of steamy, creamy justice. Bellew. Okay, so Bellew was not the NVIDIA car. He is the KW car. Not Komarowski, that's the Falcon car up ahead. Not Kazchuk. Not D, not Simmons. Not Irmer. Vega. Dive Bomb is the darker colored. Might be Vic Vega. We've not seen Vic Vega's car like this whole race. So I think by process of elimination, it appears like he was the one who was in the wall that we saw a while ago.
Is it strange we've never seen Vic Vega and Javier Vega in the same place?
Well, they're both racing, so I think that any conspiracy theories we have on the matter is a bit of a problem.
Do you have any proof? Maybe he's switching between cars every 3 nanoseconds.
Oh, well, that would be very impressive. I feel like if he just raced one car, he would probably win.
What if he could win with both?
Well, you can't, because I mean you could finish 1-2, but you know, one car would still win.
Tie for first, they get all the points. That's how that works. It's in the rules.
And indeed, it is Vic Vega. Here we are. I was right. Sorry, Vic. We're seeing you for the first time, and you're moving kind of slowly. And it looks like your front end might be a little smashed up. Magic Kazchuk, by the way, in the pits to serve his mandatory. Max Simmons on the chase against Rene Irmer. FedEx versus Race Union. Oh, drive-through penalty for Sebastian Bellew, speeding in the pit lane.
God dang.
Looked like he had a really good pit stop too. It actually jumped Butler and Vega. Although Vega, I think he jumped because of the damage. But he will have to come in and serve a stop-go penalty. Who's that getting out of the way? That is Ken Scott. Approaching the halfway mark in about 6 minutes of this race. I have to say the biggest surprise has been Max Simmons. Initially looking like he was going places, worked his way up as high as 6th place, but has been caught and repassed by Renner Emmer. So it's interesting. Where does Simmons fit in here? Because we know he's probably going to go long. We know Max Simmons is the master of the overcut, and we'll see if that kind of out of the box thinking comes to benefit him today.
He goes long. He is strong. He's down to get the friction on.
I don't know if we want to say that. I mean, we've been commenting on Max Simmons for a while now, and he was very young when we started.
I've been commenting on Max Simmons races since he was 12 years old.
Max Simmons is the embodiment of it's a young man's game. Sebastian Bellew in for his penalty. Beaulieu. Starting the drive-through. I'm going to keep going with Bellew until I'm corrected. We'll go with that. I'm going to stop trying to annoy myself with 2 different pronunciations for a name and just go with one. If it's wrong, tell me it's wrong. There you go. Henrik Andreasen running in 2nd place. Still. There's a little bit of cushion now to Tobias Thierhoff. Might not be a bad thing because, of course, when you're following too closely to someone, you do tend to overheat the tires a little bit, taking a lot of rough air off of it. Obviously, you're kind of having to be a little bit cautious about not going into him. So if he's not going to go for the overtake right now, it doesn't look like he has had really any intention to. Oh, and he pits goes Tobias Thierhoff. Might as well hang around a second back there and just kind of enjoy the free air. He's got all the free air he could want now because he is in the lead and on the overcut. Ken Scott driving the drive-through penalty for speeding in the pit lanes, or second drive-through today. Martin Edmonds is going long, actually, Byron, or at least longer than most. Or some, about 50-50, I guess.
Giggity.
We've had, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars in the pits to serve their pit stop. Thierhoff is in there right now. So that is 7 of the 15 running. So I guess we got 8 cars yet to pit. And one of them is the tire murderer himself, Martin Edmonds.
And the other 7 are Max Simmons.
Well, one of the other 7 is Max Simmons. Adam Komorowski's still out there, Andrew D., Rene Ermer, Javier Vega, Josiah Jerome, Henrik Andreasen, Ken Scott recovering from a spin. Vic Vega giving him a flash of the headlights, letting him know what's up.
And what is up is asparagus. I made asparagus the other day. It was delightful.
Thierhoff's come out in a good spot on track. He doesn't have to deal with any traffic. He's about 12 seconds behind Andrew D, 8.5 seconds up on Adam Komorowski. That's about perfect. Just going to let him put up his best laps right now and just kind of run his race, which is not a bad thing. And hopefully before he catches up to D, for his sake, D will have come into the pits to take his pit stop. I'm assuming that we're looking at a 4-tire stop based on how long these pit stops have been, as opposed to the 2 stop that we sometimes see, where they only change 2 tires, either the fronts or the backs. But I would assume with the 90-minute race and just the amount of time they've been in the pits, that it is a full, fresh set of tires going on the cars here today. So somebody in the background is going in the pits. I think that is Ken Scott to serve his drive. does Max Simmons go for the undercut, or does he stay out? We know his usual go-to is stay out, but we have lately seen him making some tactical moves and working undercuts when appropriate. This might be one of those times.
How much does it tickle? With the tactical?
A little bit. Not a lot. Not a lot.
That is right.
Irmer and Simmons have been actually reeling in pretty quickly the fifth place car, or the fourth place car of Javier Vega right now. Martin Edmonds in the pits. Somebody else is also in. I think that's Adam Komorowski. Taking service, and Irmer's going to go in.
Looks like Simmons.
Looks like Simmons got a run on him and actually had made the overtake before he went into the pits, but Cameron missed it. So Simmons up to P4 on the overcut, along with Andreasen, Jerome, and Vega, as well as possibly Andrew D. Let's see if he pits. Continues on. Looks like D is also in the pit lane. So D in the pits, along with Edmonds and Irmer.
Does the pit crew have to fondle D's nuts?
The wheel nuts, yes.
All right, boys, get down there and start cranking on D's nuts.
Max Simmons negotiates blue flag traffic in the form of Ken Scott. Rather beat up looking Magic Kazchuk. That's in ninth place. Comes out very close to Andrew D, so working out for him. I will say this pit lane is a little bit dangerous because you're kind of being let out in the middle of a mini Eau Rouge and you're not very fast comparatively. And Kazchuk is gonna make that overtake happen. In 8th place for the Anglo pole. Josiah Jerome has been into the pits and taken his pit stop. Tobias Thierolf has come out ahead of him, so Thierolf still the leading car that is pitted. And we're just waiting on the last three to pit, Andreasen, Vega, and Simmons. See what Andrew D can do with some fresh rubber. And again, it's the weird problem with Race Room in that you could fix the damage and the car model stays damaged. So I don't know if Kazchuk is carrying. Oh, Lord! That bomb. Very close there. Josiah Jerome out of the race. No! Not again!
Told you.
We've lost Josiah Jerome for the second race in a row when he's looking like a sure podium. He was looking at a victory at Oschersleben. And now, what looked like for sure a third place and maybe even more is off the table for the tropical sensation.
I believe we will never hear from him again due to the Texas authorities. R.I.P. Josiah Jerome.
That makes this a bit of a two-horse race for victory. It's Andreasen, who I believe is in the pits right now. and Tobias Thierolf. We'll see if Andreassen's overcut works out and if he can come out ahead. Doesn't necessarily have to come out ahead to make it work. Javier Vega also in the pits, because you could, in theory, you could come out behind Thierolf and have fresher tires and try to make the overtake on track. But ideally, he would want to get out in front of him. There he is in the Fanatec getting service. Javier Vega coming in. His spot. Max Simmons continues on, and Byron, the tradition of Max Simmons pitting last, will continue. Tobias Thierolf moves into second place, and I think he's pretty well clear of Henrik Andreasen, so I don't... It's hard to say, because obviously with the fresher tires, we'll see if Andreasen can run him down. But that's looking like a pretty good big gap, because when Thierolf pitted, the gap for the lead was only about 1 second, 1.5 maybe at tops. And now it looks like it's up to about 10. Vega trying to catch up to Dybum, and they are negotiating through the lap traffic that is Ken Scott, and there is Henrik Andreasen right behind them, so double blue flag scenario in play. There is Andrew D trailing Magic Kazchuk, battle for 7th place. Drive-through penalty, Javier Vega speeding in the pit lane. Well, Mr. Vega, you've been handed a great opportunity to get yourself a podium here today with Josiah Jerome out of it, and that drive-through penalty may just have killed that. Also, not a very good pit stop. He came out behind Martin Edmonds and Rene Erman. So,
wow, maybe he's just loading up on red shells.
Possibly, but I would still say the pit crew needs to do better work. Oh, remind me if I forget that I need to show you a short video off YouTube of Sheamus's Celtic Warrior workout video with Oscar.
Oh, damn. Okay.
It's kind of funny.
I believe it. She just show up and like, this all you do? You so lazy.
To be honest, that was more the John Cena episode of the Celtic workout, because it's like John Cena being like super calm, super polite. But like he's watching I don't know what the exercise is called, but it's Sheamus lifting 320 pounds, and John Cena just in like this really calm but like really dismissive tone, almost. It's like, you think 320 is the most you can do?
Based on the fact that his neck doesn't work anymore, yeah, probably.
I am happy that apparently WWE has rescinded their third-party income claims on the workers, because it has given me Sheamus's workout videos once again, amongst other things.
And then you too can grow red hair just like him if you work out hard enough.
I mean, considering how bad his neck is, it's very impressive.
Yeah.
So we're just waiting for the final piece of the puzzle, which is a Max Simmons pit stop, to fall into place here. He is losing ground to Tobias Thierolf, which is not surprising. He was not really battling with Thierolf at the time. I think Thierolf is definitively the race leader, and the question is, can Henrik Andreasen reel him back in and make his fresher tires, notably fresher tires, worth something? Simmons' fight is more with, directly with Rene Ermer, and if this overcut works out really, really well, it might be with Martin Edmonds.
You got expiration dates on the side of those things?
On the side of what?
Tires. So you know they're fresh.
Well, no, you can usually tell fresh racing tires by looking at them, because worn racing tires look like they had been through hell.
These tires were picked on April 17th. For maximum freshness, please use before May 20th.
I was watching the Formula 2 races from Spa this weekend, and one of the cars on the cool down lap actually had their tire pop. So they're celebrating. I think he got like 7th place in the race. He's rolling around with like chunks of rubber flying off the back of his car, like the like completely shredded tire like whipping around back there. It's like, I'm sure Pirelli loves seeing that. I'm sure they do.
Oh, yikes.
Not sure who that was.
I believe that was D.B. Cooper.
Could have been Ken Scott. Sorry, Ken, but when we've seen a lot of cars off today, it's kind of been you, and it was a blue and white car, and I think that confirms my my theory there. Has Javier Vega served his penalty yet? I don't think so. If he has, he's going to be in this fight with Max Simmons and Rene Ermer. I think he still is sitting on a drive-through penalty. We'll see. There's the pit lane, and there's the drive-through. I'm psychic, Byron. I'm psychic.
Something like that. Psychiatrically unstable, perhaps.
So that'll drop him behind Magic Cash Chuck and Andrew D. I don't think any further. He should come out ahead of Adam Komorowski. Adam Komorowski's had a real quiet day, but he's slowly worked his way up into 9th place. Max Simmons still yet to pit. That gap is rapidly shrinking. If I were him, I would get in the pits. His tires appear to be largely done, and you want to give the new tires time to work. And I think you should be able to get 33 minutes out of a set of tires without terrible difficulty. And unless he's in the pits now, that gap is shrinking at about 0.2 a corner, which is not a good feeling.
Could be worse. It could be 10 seconds per corner.
It could, but I've never seen that. 10 seconds a lap would be impressive, outside of something like Nordschleife, where the lap is like exceeding. But I think Simmons is overcutting a little bit too much. It's not working out as dive bomb as a spin. Ideally, if you're Simmons, you want to come out around Martin Edmonds and get in that fight for 3rd place. But let's do the math here real quick. 14 seconds, 23 seconds. It's about 44 seconds ahead of Edmonds. I think a pit stop is longer than that. And the problem is, he's losing ground. Like even as I was talking there, the gap between him and Tobias Thierolf has gone down from over 15 seconds to 13.2 seconds.
I mean, he may be losing ground, but is he gaining air?
Maybe. And Andreasen is faster than Thierolf, and Edmonds is more or less keeping up with that. So dive bomb having a slow. I don't know if the slowdown penalty is really required. It appears he hit the wall. But it looks like dive bomb is done. So another spot for Ken Scott. Cheers to you, Ken Scott. I'm not drinking anything alcoholic, but it is great flavor.
Wine.
No, it's one of the Fruit 20 grape sparkling
Wine.
I don't think I would ever drink wine for a commentary. I'm not a big wine drinker.
I have drank wine for many a commentary.
I know you have.
Might I recommend wine?
For me, I think alcoholic-wise for commentary, I have drank beer. And
Me too.
Simply rum. I think I had Captain Morgan one night.
Mike doesn't like to tell people this, but he just puts straight vodka in his Camelback races.
No, the Camelback's always water, just as cleaning it is a bitch.
What do you mean cleaning? It's vodka. Good self-cleaning.
That's true. Vodka would be self-cleaning. This may actually have solved problems. I'm not going to do it in a race, but like...
What?
There is a solid chance. Oh!
Yikes.
Big spin there from Magic Kazchuk.
And
And Andrew D will pick up a spot off of that, and maybe Javier Vega. Max Simmons still in the lead, has lapped Adam Komorowski. Really needs to get in the pits. That gap is closing. It's now down to 11.6. And again, I know he's not competing with Tobias Thierolf, and he's not competing with Henrik Andreasen, who are both closing in on him. But Martin Edmonds is the guy he's competing with. Rene Ermer is the guy he's competing with. And they're both closing in on him. Because they're keeping relatively stable gaps to Thierolf and Andreasen, who are catching Simmons at a very rapid rate. Simmons is in the pits. So Tobias Thierolf retaking the Castrol livery. Andreasen is second. Andreasen has brought down a 10-second gap to about 8 seconds. He is going faster, it seems, pretty generally. I don't have numbers to reference that because all I have is a fastest lap to work with. But it does seem like that gap is coming down slowly, but I don't know if it's fast enough as a big spin for Sebastian Bellew.
Oh, big spin. Faster.
Javier.
Faster. All I hear and see is faster.
Magic Kazchuk managed to rejoin ahead of Javier Vega, but Vega is putting the pressure on. You know, Vega is pretty quick. Ermer has also come out ahead of Simmons, so yeah. For comparison purposes, when Ermer pitted, Simmons had just overtaken him, and he is now going to come out 5 seconds behind. 5 seconds plus behind. Another spin for Bellew. He's good at the fresher tires. He's in the same spot as Andreasen is, where he's going to try and catch up, going to try and take it down, trying to use these 28 minutes of fresh tire life, however long you keep him at peak, to try to get those 5 seconds back. But it just feels like he could have come out ahead of him. And then you're ahead of your opponent, and you have fresher tires. So I think this is a tremendous miscalculation on Simmons. We'll find out. He's working with the Ferrari strategic department. What can I say? Magic Kazchuk trying to get back past Javier Vega, who has overtaken him off camera. The battle for 7th place continues. So with all the pit stops handled, Tobias Thierolf returns to lead, Henrik Andreasen still second. Martin Edmonds is up to third with Josiah Jerome dropping out. Rene Ermer is a big winner, I think, off of this. He's up to 4th place. Max Simmons down to 5th. I think he is a loser on this one. He stayed out too long, I think. Andrew D in 6th place. Javier Vega 7th. Magic Kazchuk in 8th. You're seeing that battle right there. Adam Komorowski up to 9th place. James Butler 10th. Vic Vega, Sebastian Bellew, and Ken Scott, your 13 still running cars. And of course, people who had problems at the pit stop are obviously the guys who picked up drive-through penalties, notably Sebastian Bellew, as well as Javier Vega. Gap at the front is down to 6.0 seconds, about 6 on the nose, we'll call it, between Andreasen and Thierolf. And a big spin in contact with the Amco barrier for Magic Kazchuk. He spun a couple of times. I do wonder if something is a little bit more terminally wrong with the car at this point. But he was putting up good lap times. There is your leader, Tobias Thierolf, and the car 2 in the back is the car catching him. Henrik Andreasen. Between them is, I believe, Ken Scott. Lapped car who received the blue flag.
You would believe Ken Scott.
And up ahead of them is Adam Komorowski, who is the last car on the lead lap. Slow down penalty for Ken Scott. Ken Scott heading into the pits along with somebody else. Didn't see who that car belonged to. Who is, if anyone, falling through the order? I think that might be Sebastian Bellew. Oh boy! Henrik Andreasen with a spin. And, well, I was talking about the battle for the win. I was talking about Andreasen's chances. And that spin, well, that takes a lot of the pressure off of Thierolf, because Andreasen may still, in fact, have pressure tires. But that gap has gone from 6 seconds to 16 seconds. Going around Adam Komorowski there. Blue flag being honored by the American driver. Tugas in the lead, Tugas in second place, ESR in third, Tugas fourth, ESR fifth and sixth. Not sure who Javier Vega is representing. I'm assuming Tugas based on the fact that Tugas is a Portuguese-based community. I'm assuming Spanish drivers with them, but I do not know. ESR with Kazchuk, Komorowski for Tugas, and Butler for ESR, rounding off the top 10. And, I think we only had one ESR Argentina, Esports Racing Argentina driver in the field today, and that was Roman Barthez. Sadly, will not see the checkered flag.
Michael, on a scale of 1 to Glen, how would you rate this track?
Glen. Definitely Glen.
Well done. Well done.
Wonder if I'll watch the House of the Dragon episode 2 tonight, because that has been released, and episode 1 was pretty good, so I'm looking forward to episode 2.
The House of Jargon, you say?
House of Dragon, which George R. R. Martin has dubbed Hot D.
What?
Well, because Game of Thrones was always referred to as GOT, aka God. And House of the Dragon is now Hot D. That is the short form.
Very nice.
I'm wondering at what episode we'll see the big granddaddy dragon, the big mama, show up.
Never.
I definitely hope the answer is not never, because I want to see that dragon. There's one dragon from Aegon's conquest that is still alive at the time of the story we're at. So this dragon's like 400 years old, something like that. And dragons get bigger as they age; like they don't stop growing. So this dragon's going to be huge. I look forward to it.
Yeah, it's got a pituitary disorder. It's only going to be like 3 feet long.
The Dragon Rider has not been born yet as of episode 1, so presumably we're waiting a while, but I'm waiting for that movie.
Let me guess, George R.R. Martin still hasn't released any books in the last 35 years.
Correct. No, he's been releasing source books for Game of Thrones that are building the world. They're cool and everything, but we'd like a new novel. We'd like a new novel, George. Like Winds of Winter.
Man, I think novels are overrated. He's too busy making video games and...
Byron does not believe this. Byron's a big reader.
I may or may not possess books, okay?
I've been to your house. There's a lot of books.
There are some books here and there.
Kind of waiting for the next Gaunt's Ghost novel to get released, but I might be done with that series. The last 2 books have not been great.
I'm currently listening to the Necropolis, I believe it's called.
Necropolis. That one is probably my favorite.
Fair enough. So far, he's done a really bad job of explaining anything, so I don't know. There's somewhere...
What point are you up to?
What just happened? There was just some nurse got attacked by a crack addict, and then one of the ghosts jumped in and choked the guy out.
I like that scene.
Yeah, so that just happened, but I mean, nobody knows where we are, nobody cares, nobody knows what's going on, he hasn't explained shit about anything. There's rusty people attacking things, maybe?
Yeah, they don't know what's happening.
Fair enough.
One of the other cities on the planet has started attacking them, but it's a city that's way, way smaller than them. So they have the confusion is basically how does this small ass city? It'd be like the city.
I got all that, but
be like the city of Burlington attacking Toronto.
Yeah, I got that much, but he really hasn't gone. Like, if they don't know what's going on, he hasn't told us that either. Because everybody's got a plan, everybody's got an idea, everybody's got a strategy. It's all fine. But they keep being attacked, maybe? But they aren't being attacked? I don't know. So it's not really that well written, honestly, if I'm honest.
I might have to read it again and maybe get a good thing. I remember being very happy with the story at the end.
Fair enough.
I might have been very much in your boat up until getting to the end. There might be a click moment.
That is fair. Like, I'm not opposed to it. It's just that he, as per usual, is trying to be mysterious and lead you into something when he should probably just take 3 or 4 sentences and go da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and now I'm clued in on some stuff.
Part of it is chaos. Is just
That's fine. That's fair. But I need a little something.
Tobias Thierolf navigates through some back markers there in the form of Ken Scott as well as Sebastian W. What's the gap between Simmons and Irmer now? It is down to 3.5 seconds, so Simmons is coming. But I still can't help but feel like he missed a trick by staying out as long as he did. Because I think if he had pitted, not even undercut, not anything like that, but like if he had just pitted, say, 5 laps earlier, I think he would have come out ahead. Because he was just losing a lot of time. And,
but is he getting space?
I guess it'll be it'll be a non-story if he hunts down Rene Ermer and overtakes him, takes 4th place, because, to be honest, that probably was the best that was on the table. But, I don't know. It just feels like a subpar strategy by by Simmons' team. I feel like this could have been a lot safer. It's like, guess what I'm saying?
Boom.
A lot safer.
Safest for losers, man.
Henrik Andreasen not really making any inroads into the lead for Thirol since his spin. A little bit, I guess. It's down to about 14.5 seconds. There's a random jump down to 14 seconds there, so I wonder if maybe Thirol had a moment. But, I don't think there's a threat from Andreasen right now. He is. I think that spin ended it, and I think it was slim before then, but it's definitely not on the table right now. So we're probably going to see a Tobias Thirol victory here in 15 minutes. Probably going to see Andreasen and Edmonds on the podium with him. The question mark is 4th place, Ermer or Simmons. Or honestly, Andrew D might be kind of coming into this as well, because he's actually been catching up to both of them pretty regularly. He comes into play. And James Butler and Adam Komorowski are close enough together that we could see a showdown for 9th place. I say that because I think the high water mark for Butler this race has been notably higher than Komorowski's. So Komorowski's kind of ascertained that, or acquired that 9th place through just keeping it clean. Just not necessarily being the 9th fastest guy on track, but just keeping his nose clean and getting a good pit stop in. And I say keeping his nose clean, and we've seen his car a couple of times. He's hit a wall at some point. But for the most part, keeping it at least relatively clean. And,
you want him to keep his nose clean, but them nostrils is crusty.
But it does feel like Butler is the faster driver of the two. Keep an eye on that gap, which is currently 5.2 seconds. It just dropped below 5 seconds there to 4.8. Haven't seen a Castrol liveried racing machine this far ahead since Colin Edwards was world champion in the World Superbike. Also keeping an eye to see if Ken Scott goes down a 10th lap, because the lack of a changing gap between him and Dive Bomb suggests that we may have lost Ken Scott and are down to 12 cars.
I'm just assuming that Dive Bomb pulled a brakey and ran him out of the race.
Well, no, we know Dive Bomb's out of the race.
I assume he ran out of the pits with a chair and tried to take it out.
The gap is changing. Okay. Although Dive Bomb did fall down a 10th lap, so he must have been lapped by Sebastian Bellew again. And kind of both things happened. Gap update, Simmons 3.4 away from Ermer. About the same last we checked. Butler about the same with Komorowski as well at 4.7. So it doesn't seem like there's a tremendous pace delta either way. Although I say this, and Butler cuts it down to 4.2, so I made up some ground there. For those not aware, the ESR 3D Speed Series has its season finale on Wednesday at Barcelona. even if you have not been participating in the series up until now, you are welcome to join us at ACC, the GT3 cars. That will be Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And yours truly is battling for a 3rd place in the championship. So hopefully I can make a second podium happen, because I picked up an incredibly rare podium last time out at Monza. And I'd love to add to that collection.
Well, maybe if you just finished first all the time, you wouldn't have to worry about it.
I have... Okay, actually, I have finished first in the ESR race, but it was a drunken admins race where I think I was just the least drunk of the admins.
Well, sounds like you need to get all your racers drunk, or just maybe try harder.
It was back on New Year's Eve. It was me and Andy Blade and Darcy Parkinson and Martin Evans racing.
Good old Darky Parky structure.
I think John Barker might have been there.
One Barcadero.
We were racing around the various race room racing way variants, which actually I will say, I've always said this, race rooms, fictitious race room raceway is one of the best like game only racetracks ever created. It's very good. There's a couple of nice variants to it as well. And I'm also going to pimp my other stuff. You can check me out on Steam, not Steam, Twitch. Meodread is the name, and I'll be going live tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern with Super Mega Baseball. And it might be the final stream of the season. Depends how it goes, because not many games left. We're down to like the last 20 games.
You're going to spend that final $1.9 million to upgrade my character?
There is a $1.9 million upgrade that I'm saving up for, but it's not you.
What? I'm an active favored nation status outside.
There is no option for you to be upgraded right now.
Yeah, there is.
Sebastian W takes a spin.
I saw it with my own brain and eyeballs.
I don't think so.
It increases my contact, but it decreases my speed, which is fine because you nuked my speed by fucking 20 points anyway.
I don't think you had one up there, but
I'm pretty sure. I know you said that you were probably going to get something for someone else, which did make sense. But I may pull a Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Hulk Hogan, and favored nation status my way in there. Doesn't work for me, brother.
I mean, if it improves contact, I'd probably go for it. Putting you up into the 80s for contact would be very good.
I think it was a pretty high chance, too.
Max Simmons is getting there. He is catching up as Ken Scott was a little bit costing good time there for Herbert. So the gap is down to 0.4 of a second with 8 minutes to go. And we know Simmons has way fresher tires on his Porsche than Rene Ermer does, because he went with the super guy. Checking in on the Butler fight, that's down to 3.5 seconds, so it's getting closer between Butler and Komorowski. But not within striking distance yet. Here we are heading into the inner loop, the best overtaking spot on the track. Ermer needs to get the pedal to the metal right now and put in some of his best laps of this race if he wants to hang on to what is a very good 4th place. Plenty of time left, so 7 minutes to go. We're probably looking at about 4 laps more. And Simmons definitely has the pace. I think Ermer lost a lot of time in traffic there. So if Max Simmons does get this, he may owe your boy Ken Scott a beer. And you're not really going to get around the outside there. It's not really possible. Camber just doesn't really allow for it. I think the inner loop is the best bet. So there are a couple other places through the boot that may also work. Coming up to lap another car there. I'm blanking on who drives the 6. I think it's Vic Vega. I think that's Vic Vega. So Ken Scott ducks into the pits again. Lost count of how many times he's been down pit row. I feel like this is the battle we're going to stick with, although Butler has got it down to 2.3 seconds, so there is a showdown coming between Adam Komorowski and James Butler, and I do hope that if that really gets spicy, we do get the camera on there. Andrew D is closing in on this group. The gap is down to 5.5 seconds, but I think it's largely that they're battling that is costing them time. I don't think he's going to be a factor unless we get some contact. And otherwise, Henrik Andreassen's cut the gap down to 12.8 seconds out of the lead, but he just does not have enough time. We have to take out well over a second per lap.
What if
we're talking like 2 or 3
driving
seconds
near the speed of light, and then time dilation makes it so that they
whoa! Big spin for Sebastian Bellew. And I mean, we've been that made all the other big spins look very small, actually. That was the spin.
Yeah. You get the big spin award. Thank you.
On board with Max Simmons. They're coming up to blue flag traffic. Again, I believe that's Vic Vega. Vic is a community mate of Rene Ermer. So I wonder, does that change his role in this whole thing? We're gonna have a Ricardo Zonta moment. I see Ken Scott is up in the jacks in the pits. Getting something fixed. Turn 1 we go. And Vega's still ahead. Vega does go off and lets them through without playing a role. No Ricardo Zonta for Vic Vega. Pressure is on. Ermer versus Simmons. This is the best shot here. The inner loop. And camera guy, we're gonna have a talk because we just missed Max Simmons overtaking Rene Ermer. And Ermer getting it back.
Double dash.
Can we go back to that? Don't get me wrong. Butler versus Komorowski, also important.
Triple dash.
Second most important thing I want to see right now. But there it is. Simmons is behind. And actually kind of falling back into Vic Vega's clutches, so it looks like he may have made a mistake. Maybe he overshot a turn, making the overtake through the inner loop, is my guess. And unfortunately, we did not get that on camera. Probably 2 more laps to go around the Watkins Glen, although it depends on where the leader is. And I'm good with numbers, but I'm not that good that I can sum it up the exact gap and where that would put Tugas Racing on the track.
I believe
these two come to the end of lap 47.
Hundredths of a nanometer.
Butler's got it down to 0.5 of a second. Half a second between Butler and Komorowski. So 2 big battles going on right now. Battle for 4th place and the battle for 8th place. Or pardon me, 9th place. Still very much up for grabs. Everybody else kind of done it. Andrew D is down to 3, is within 3 seconds of this battle now. I still don't think he's going to play a role unless there's some contact. Unless one of these guys throws it away. But he is making it interesting for his pit wall. Big curb hike there from Rene Ermer as he is taking the defensive line. He is not going to let Simmons take the inside line. He is telling him with all the car language here, if you want to get past me, you're going to have to go the long way around. And we'll see if Simmons does, because he still does have notably fresher tires. Down towards the boot heel. Or probably the toe, then the heel. This is the toe. Next is the heel. Or pardon me, I think that actually was the heel. This is actually turn 9. I think I was a turn behind. Yeah, I was. My bad, everybody.
The worst. God, I'm so much better at play-by-play.
Yeah, you really want to put that to the test, Boyle?
I remember doing play-by-play one time live on Twitch, and it was me just making up nicknames for everybody, and then making up anything else because I had no idea what was going on. I invented a whole narrative about what was going on in the race that was completely untrue, but I tried to stick to it.
Oh, Butler is in there. The Total car versus the Falcon car. Komorowski versus Butler. USA versus the UK here on US soil at Watkins Glen.
When does Sherlock get his own Glen? Oh, sorry, Watkins. That's not the right guy.
Yeah, not Watson.
I didn't say wrong words.
Through the inner loop, probably for the final time. Max Simmons has, I think, run out of time. I don't know where the move will come. It's still there. He's still within striking distance. I just don't know what turn he could make this happen as Butler does overtake Komorowski. And then he gets back. And again, camera guy, you're going to love my nuts because you're getting teabagged.
Whoa. Graphic.
Checkered flag is out. Tobias Thierolf is your winner.
Huzzah!
Wound up being about a 10-second gap.
The Germans have conquered.
Over Henrik Andreasen. Martin Edmonds will take the podium. And 4th place up for grabs. Rene Armour holds it right now. Max Simmons would like it. 2 turns left. He's got the inside line! And now we go to Komorowski and Butler. By the way, have finished the race and are not even racing anymore. God damn it. Why you do this to me, auto-director? Why you do this? That's maybe the worst race room's auto-directors ever clowned us, to be honest.
You expected anything different?
Ermer does get the checkered flag ahead of Max Simmons. Andrew D comes home in 6th place. And here comes Javier Vega, who might be the last guy to finish, actually. 7th place, because I think he's the last guy on the lead lap. But, well, Magic Kazchuk behind him might also.
Get him, Kevin Truck.
There's Vega across the line. And there is Magic Kazchuk. I believe that is the last guy. I am going to pull up the standings, and Byron can fill the baton.
I will now recite every ounce of... Oh my God, Josiah Jerome is in trouble.
He is. He's been called back to his native land.
He's hydroplaning back to St. Kitts. You will not see him again.
There you go. There are your final laps. Andreasen does get the fastest lap, but Thierolf is your winner. Actually, by a fair bit, about 0.7 of a second faster. Thierolf gets the win from Andreasen, Edmonds, Ermer, Simmons, D, Vega, Kazchuk, Komorowski, Butler, Vega, Bellew, and Ken Scott, DNFs for Die Bomb, Josiah Jerome, Roman Barthez, and Anthony Willis. And your overall championship now, with 62 points, Tobias Thierolf is in the lead. Martin Edmonds in 2nd on 34 points, along with Rene Armour. Max Simmons is on 33, and Henrik Andreasen, who missed the opening round at Oschersleben, is in 5th on 32 points. In the teams racing, Tugas Racing numero uno, dominating with 106 points. That is Tobias Thierolf, Henrik Andreasen, and Rene Armour. No surprise, all 3 of their drivers are in the top 5. That would be a good sign. Canadian Pole 2.2 is in 2nd place on 59 points. That is Edmonds, Kazchuk, and D. And in 3rd place, it is Orange Overclocked Racing. That is ya boy, Mauricio Delgado, James Butler, and Max Simmons. The top 5 is rounded off by Le Diversité Racing, which is Josiah Jerome, Bertrand Barrier, and Adam Komorowski. And Esports Racing Argentina, number 1, which is Romy Bartz, Luciano Echazo, and Matthias Gonzalez. And I can confirm that Javier Vega does represent Tugas because he's part of Tugas Racing Number 2.
Tuga.
So, Byron, what were your final thoughts of this this run at the Watkins Glen?
I believe everybody needs to go into the ESR general chat and start immediately harassing James Butler about his arm and asking if he heard it doing a spectacular wank.